Ever feel, you're capable of way more, but there's this like, I don't know, something holding you back, like a mental ceiling you just can't bust through.
Hmm. Yeah, I know the feeling.
Well, get ready because today we're diving deep into shattering those limitations using the power of, get this, self-image.
Self-image. Okay, I'm intrigued.
We're cracking open Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz.
Oh, Maltz. The plastic surgeon turned mind guru, right?
The one and only. And what's so fascinating about him is he didn't just talk the talk. He saw this whole mind-body connection firsthand.
Really? How so?
Well, he kicks off Psycho-Cybernetics with this story about his patient. This young boy, painfully shy, convinced his big ears were like ruining his life.
Oh, I can only imagine. Poor kid.
So Maltz does the surgery, ears look great, but here's the thing, the boy's entire demeanor, it transforms.
No way. Just from, like, feeling better about his appearance.
Exactly. Grades shoot up, he's making friends, the whole shebang.
Wow. So it's like our self-image, it's this blueprint, and we're unconsciously building our lives based on it, good or bad.
Right. And get this, Maltz, he uses another example, a salesman, hypnotized to believe he could only sell a certain amount.
Hypnotized. Okay, now it's getting interesting.
And he consistently hits that number no matter how good the sales territory.
Whoa. So his self-image, it was literally dictating his income.
It's kind of freaky, right? Like, what if we're all walking around with these limiting beliefs that are totally sabotaging us?
Okay, so how do we break free?
Well, the good news is, just as we unconsciously built those beliefs, we can consciously reshape them.
Okay, I like the sound of that. But how?
Maltz provides a framework, and it's called, are you ready for this? Success.
Success. All right, I'm all ears. Lay it on me.
It all starts with S, sense of direction. Think of it like setting your internal compass.
Makes sense. Like if you don't know where you're going, any path will do, right?
Exactly. Without goals, we're just drifting. Now, U is for understanding.
Understand. Okay, but like
There's a
understanding
lot.
what?
Not just understanding the situation, but our own reactions to it. It's about choosing how we respond instead of just, freaking out.
So instead of sending that angry email when a project goes sideways.
Take a breath, size up the situation, and then respond strategically.
Got it. It's about being intentional, not just reactive.
Now you're getting it. This is the power of understanding in action.
Yeah.
So we've set our direction. We're being mindful. What's next on this success ladder?
Okay, so we're understanding. We have our goal in mind. What's the next step?
C, and this one's big, courage.
Courage. All right, I'm listening.
Because understanding without action is like having a map, but, just staying on the couch.
Yeah, I've been guilty of that. But why courage?
Because taking action, especially outside our comfort zones, that takes guts.
True, it means risking failure.
Exactly. And hearing no, all those things we naturally try to avoid. But those failures, they're just feedback, course corrections on the path to success.
So C is for courage, but it's also for course correction, which leads to, there it is.
The second C in success, and it's built on those small wins Maltz talks about,
So each step, no matter how small,
reinforces that belief in ourselves.
like that saying, confidence is built, not born. So we're building that confidence, which leads to
E for esteem.
esteem, right?
That unshakable belief in yourself.
Not arrogance, though, right?
No. It's about recognizing your own worthiness.
Okay, I like where this is going. So we're feeling good, confident. 2 more S's to go. What's next?
This one, this S, might be the toughest for some self-acceptance.
Self-acceptance. That's a big one.
It's about acknowledging that we are all a work in progress, flaws and all.
So not about comparing ourselves to some, like, perfect ideal.
Exactly. It's more like, okay, this is me, now let's work with it.
I can see how that would free up some mental energy, all that self-criticism gone.
Exactly. And that brings us to the final S, self-confidence. But this time, it's like next level self-confidence.
Not just in certain areas, but a deeper belief in your ability to handle whatever life throws your way.
You got it. So there you have it, the success roadmap. Sense of direction, understanding, courage, compassion, esteem, self-acceptance, and finally, that rock-solid self-confidence.
Wow. It's not just about achieving success out there. It's about transforming ourselves on the inside to support that success.
Now you're getting it. It all starts within.
This is already such a powerful framework, but how do we actually apply all of this? How do we actually change our self-image?
That, my friend, is where Maltz gets even more interesting. He gives us these techniques, almost like mental exercises. All right, so we're back, ready to upgrade our self-image with these, mental exercises Maltz talks about. What are they exactly?
One of the most powerful techniques he lays out is, get this, mental movies.
Mental movies. Okay, I've heard of vision boards, but this sounds way more
So it's
intense.
about creating these vivid, emotionally engaging mental movies, right, of yourself already embodying the treats and successes you want.
Okay, so, like, how do I even start doing that?
Think of a time you felt super confident. Maybe you crushed a presentation or aced a job interview.
Oh, I gotcha. Like that time I gave that presentation and the whole room was just like glued to me. The energy was electric.
There you go. Maltz would say, bottle that feeling. Relive that memory in your mind, but like really engage all your senses. See the audience, hear your voice, feel that surge of confidence.
So it's not just remembering, it's like re-experiencing it.
Exactly.
Okay.
And here's the movie part, right? Once you've got that feeling anchored, you start running these mental scenarios where you're facing a challenge. But this time, you're acting from that place of confidence.
So it's like I'm giving my brain a highlight reel of my best self, but in the future.
Exactly. The more you run these mental movies, the easier it becomes to act from that confident place for real.
Yeah.
You're literally rewiring your brain to see it as possible.
Okay, director of my own mental movies. I like the sound of that. But even with the best movie, sometimes things can get a bit stressful. Does relaxation come into play here?
Big time. Maltz, he was all about relaxation for change. He even talked about the law of reversed effort.
Law of reverse effort. Now that's a new one.
The idea is trying too hard can backfire, creating all this tension that blocks progress.
It's like when you're trying to fall asleep and the more you try, the wider awake you are.
Exactly. Our minds, they work best when we're relaxed and focused, not all clenched up. And that goes for the self-image stuff too. Maltz suggests things like meditation, but also just plain old physical relaxation.
Because, our mind and body are so connected. Like if your shoulders are glued to your ears from stress, your mind's not exactly in a creative space.
Exactly. Physical relaxation, a walk in nature, a hot bath, whatever works, it calms the nervous system down, makes it way more receptive to those positive mental shifts.
Oh, okay, so we're directing our own mental movies, we're chilling out. What else is in Maltz's self-image toolkit?
This one might throw you for a loop. Forgiveness.
Forgiveness. Okay, that feels like a bit of a jump. How does forgiving someone, or even myself, tie into all of this?
Maltese, he said that holding on to resentment, anger, those shoulda, woulda, couldas, it's like dragging around dead weight. Just
Sure.
drains your energy.
And that's energy that we could be using to build our best selves.
You got it. And forgiveness, it doesn't mean you're condoning bad behavior or anything like that. It's about letting go of the burden for yourself.
Okay, that makes sense. But how do we actually do that? Forgive when it still stings.
It's a process, not a light switch.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes really choosing to see things differently. Maybe finding some compassion for the other person. And for self-forgiveness. Treat yourself with the same kindness you'd offer a friend who messed up.
It's like that saying, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
There you go. Forgiveness, it's a gift you give yourself. It clears the way for all that good stuff to come in.
So we've got mental movies on repeat, a good dose of relaxation, and a healthy serving of forgiveness. What else can help us kick those limiting beliefs to the curb?
Well, Maltz talks about this technique called, and I love this one, shadow boxing.
Wait, like actually boxing? I knew this self-improvement thing was getting serious.
Not quite. Shadow boxing, in this context, it means mentally rehearsing for tough situations. But in a safe environment, building your confidence and competence, but without the pressure.
Okay, I'm listening. Walk me through this. How do you shadow box your way to a better self-image?
Let's say you have a big presentation coming up, and public speaking is like your worst nightmare.
Been there.
Instead of dreading it, you shadow box by practicing in your mind. You picture the room, the audience, the questions they might throw your way.
So it's like a mental dress rehearsal. You work through those anxieties and build your confidence before the main event.
Exactly. You're training your mind and body to respond in a new way, more empowered.
Okay, so to recap, mental movies are about embodying our best selves. Relaxation gets us ready for change. Forgiveness clears those mental roadblocks. And shadowboxing helps us build confidence through mental rehearsal. I love how Maltz brings these ideas together.
Right. It's all connected. And you know what else ties into this? The life force.
Yeah, all right. Now we're getting into the really good stuff. So what exactly is this life force and how does it fit in?
Well, Maltz believed we all have this natural drive to grow, adapt, and thrive. He called it our success mechanism.
Our inner drive to achieve our goals, to reach our full potential.
Exactly. And he said this life force, It's not something we need to create. It's already there, just waiting to be unleashed.
I love that. But if it's already there, why is it so hard to tap into it sometimes?
That's where our trusty self-image comes in. This success mechanism, it thrives on feedback, especially from our self-image.
So if we have a negative self-image, if we're constantly putting ourselves down, we're basically sending our success mechanism the wrong signals.
Right, it's like trying to drive with the parking brake on. You
Yeah.
might have a supercharged engine, but you're not going anywhere fast.
Powerful analogy. So we got to align our self-image with our goals if we want to tap into our full potential.
Now you're getting it. We need to start seeing ourselves as capable, worthy, deserving of success. That's where all these techniques come in.
It's all coming together, but Maltz takes this life force idea even further, right? He links it to aging, which, is something I'm definitely interested in. How does that work?
Oh, this is where Maltz gets really fascinating. He challenges this whole idea that our energy and capabilities just like inevitably fade as we age.
Because honestly, so much of it is mindset.
Right. Exactly. He argued that this whole decline thing is often a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you believe getting older equals decline, you start acting that way. You stop trying new things, stop learning, limit your experiences.
We're basically pre-programming ourselves to age a certain way.
Right. But Maltz, he points to tons of examples of people who just blew past those expectations. Artists, writers, even athletes staying active, creative, engaged well into their later years.
Like Grandma Moses, she didn't even start painting until her 70s. Or Julia Child, her first cookbook came out when she was 50.
Exactly. Maltz's point is, our beliefs about aging have a huge impact on how we actually age.
So instead of fearing aging, what if we embraced it as, a natural part of life?
That's the key. That's when we open ourselves up to new possibilities.
This is blowing my mind. So how do we change those ingrained beliefs about aging? How do we make sure we're not limiting ourselves as we get older?
That's the million-dollar question. And lucky for us, Maltz, he has some ideas. He suggests we start by, really taking a look at those beliefs we have about aging. Like, where did they even come from? Are they even ours, or did we pick them up from, I don't know, society, family, even the media?
It's like we absorbed all these negative messages about aging without even realizing it, and then we end up, just living out those limitations.
Exactly. So step one, become aware of those beliefs. Like, what are we telling ourselves about being 50, 60, 70, even 80?
And then once we've got those beliefs out in the open, we can start to challenge them.
Exactly. Find evidence to the contrary. Look for role models who are, totally rocking their later years.
Right, like rewrite the script on aging altogether.
Yes, and create a vision that actually excites us instead of scaring us.
Okay, I love that. So instead of fearing aging, we're creating a vision for it that aligns with what we really want.
You got it. Remember those mental movies we talked about? They're not just for, like, external success, right?
Yeah.
We can use them to reimagine aging itself. Create this awesome vision of our future selves that, really energizes us.
So we're not just passengers on this journey. We're the ones in the driver's seat. We get to choose our destination, chart our own course.
Now you're talking. And that sense of agency, that belief that we can actually shape our reality, that's powerful stuff no matter how old we are.
This is all so incredibly powerful. But we've covered a lot of ground here. Mental movies, relaxation, forgiveness, even shadowboxing. I have to admit, it can feel a little overwhelming. Like, where do I even start?
Totally get it. And Maltz, he understood that feeling too.
Yeah.
He always said lasting change. It's a process, not an overnight thing.
So no need to overhaul everything at once. It's about taking those small steps consistently, right?
You got it. Pick one technique that really speaks to you and start there. Maybe it's meditating for a few minutes every day, or consciously practicing forgiveness. Or how about committing to running one mental movie before bed?
It's about building those positive habits over time, like a ripple effect that transforms our self-image and ultimately our entire lives.
Exactly. And the amazing thing is, even small changes, they can have a huge impact. As we start shifting our self-image even a little, it creates this positive feedback loop.
So as we start having those small wins, our confidence grows, and that makes us more likely to take on bigger challenges. And then that momentum, it just keeps building.
Now you're seeing it. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, but for success.
This has been an amazing deep dive. It's like Maltz gave us a user's manual for our own minds, empowering us to unlock our potential and create a life that's truly fulfilling at any age. And hey, listeners, remember, it's not just about thinking it, it's about believing it. Until next time, keep those mental movies rolling.